That was quite weird. And then we saw Pai the Black Angels also playing a home 1-2 in there. Very interesting. And then in Big League, Onduparaka is sailing very smoothly. The fifth win in a row since the second round started. And then we did see Pai the Black Angels. Black's power in Alira literally also going past that is the table leaders Police by giving them an early goal in the 4th minute, and we saw them beating there is a Police. And then in UPL it's very interesting. And then also Star Times Uganda Premier League did go down a first round, where we'll also be consequently bringing you some over the stories. Internationally, we did see Spurs yesterday almost equalizing for Arsenal. If those minutes had gone a little bit far, trust me, that game was going to be a 3-3, a lot more interesting, starting with, of course, the local stories. Mvara boys are doing so well, but they did play first round.
Exactly, they are doing so well, but something which has not surprised me so much, because you look at this team called Mvara boys, they are fresh from Western Regional League. That means playing in 4th Division League is something which they have found so easy for them. That's why you see them overlapping on top of the log. Now the question is, they have just been relegated from Western Regional League Nile Zone last season. People will be expecting a lot from them because of how they are performing right now. People want them to go back to Western Regional League because they are known of playing Regional League, and people don't expect them to stay for several seasons playing in 4th Division League. Right now, maintaining the log in the northern zone. Northern zone as a southern zone shows that they really have that zeal, they really have that ambition of making it back to Western Regional League. But it's not that once you finish on top where second, you go straight to Regional League. You also have to go for zonals, whereby you will be meeting champions or the runners up from the different DFAs. How are they going to see that they catch up these games very well is actually what everyone is waiting to see. And it will be a very big shame, it will be a very bad omen for the team of Mvara boys with the current performance they are having right now if they go and mess up in zonals, which will be taking place in Madiokoro. But if they can continue with this spirit, with this performance, with this form guide, I think Mvara will be making it back to where they are supposed to be.
It's quite very interesting. The other side, by the Black Angels are in there is the regional league have also qualified off into there is the playoffs to see to it if they can get back to where they once played. Of course, the mission of every other team, that plays in these lower league division games is to see to it that they can prosper and propel to play in there is the biggest style of football in Uganda. There is a Star Times Uganda Premier League. We did see the Black Angels play in there one time, and they kept dropping because of a lot of issues that were surrounding from the top management to the players and the rest of. They didn't have full support. They had financial constraints and all that. So basically, we did see them sink, and now they seem to be catching fire in there is the regional league. They have finished top of the table. The other side, Pakwachii Youngsters had hopes. They followed them very cleanly. They followed them very closely. It was a neck-to-neck struggle between the two sides. One would literally say it was before the season came to a close-up. One would literally say it was going to be between the Black Angels or Pakwachii Youngsters. But this time around, with the defeat that Pakwachii Youngsters suffered in the hands of Alpha Rising Stars, 7-2, we did see Paiza being an overall over that zone. I'm talking about Nyagaki Zone, West Nile Regional League. How good is that for Paiza Black Angels? Do you see them be the best candidates for that? How far do you see them going for there is the playoffs?
Susie, it's true that Paiza Black Angels of this season has been a rejuvenated side from the right of the season up to sealing the qualification for the playoffs. And in the last 3 seasons, it has been teams from Nile Zone dominating it over the teams coming from Nyagaki Zone. The other time it was a Juman from Nile Zone that took over, also Calvary from the other zone, and recently we saw also Kotse coming on top over the team of Nebi Central. And it's true, as I had said, Paiza Black Angels of this season has not been an easy side, only picking one defeat in the derby they had against the team of Paiza United, their neighbors, where they were beaten actually by 2-0. And it's true, the race has actually been between the two teams, Paiza Black Angels and the team of Pakwachii Youngsters. People expected a lot from teams like Paiza United, even a team called Arua City because they enjoy the status of being in the city, and in Nebi Central, that in the last 2 to 3 seasons, that has been leading the table in Nyagaki zone of late, has disappeared. Immediately after the first round coming to an end, the rest of the teams gave up and they left the race between the two teams, Pakwati Youngsters and the Paida Black Angels, going almost up to the end of the season. Till also over the weekend, we saw the team. It was a tight game between the two teams, Alpha Rising Stars and Pakwati Youngsters, because the season is also not a good one for the side that actually accumulated Pakwati Youngsters. Alpha Rising Stars, they're also fighting for a way to see that they avoid the relegation. On the other side, Pakwati Youngsters wanted to keep the race up to the end of the season, knowing that in football anything can happen. Maybe the team of Paida Black Angels can also slip points into the hands of another team and they will take over, but it ended as a bad omen for Pakwati Youngsters, and this time PBA reclaiming the top position. And it's true, the last few seasons they have not been maintaining the log, and everyone is waiting to see with the performance they have been having in their zone, are they going to this time overcome a team from Nile zone is actually what everyone is waiting to see. Like I said earlier on, in the recent years, in the recent seasons, it has been teams from Nile zone dominating, and this time everyone will want to see this time Paida Black Angels going ahead because of the history, the pedigree they have. You know, most of the Africans believe that the best ones should always go ahead to represent us, and PBA having the experience of big league, having the experience of StarTimes Uganda Premier League. I know so many people, 60% will be rallying behind this team of PBA.
The Black Angels is, of course, a very good side. They are situated in, there is a Paida town, and their hometown or their home ground is called Baro Okoro, where literally it's very hard for teams to go in there and pick in all 3 points up. They did a lot of signings this season, of course, starting from the head coach, and then he likes calling himself Tata Nabil, and then going to there is some of other players. Nabil, Tata Nabil is someone from West Nile, someone from Arua City, I should say, and in that, if you look at the entire squad of the Black Angels, you literally get to realize that it has a lot of Lubaras in there, and Lubaras are situated in there is a rural city. So basically, it's very interesting. They have the likes of Gaddafi Gadinho, who is a star player within the country. We have the likes of Suleiman Jamal, commonly called as Marcelo. We have Isco. We have a lot of good players that the Black Angels are picked in from here. And in Nile Zone, Araka seems to be doing very well. They are still on top of the table.
Exactly. Araka is one team which is making headlines, and you talk about teams that are playing from Nile zone. Ever since, Araka is a traditional team, and the other teams, they have actually been rejuvenated by the morale coming from the fans and also the little money they are having. But like you said, I love the way how you actually gave the introduction part of it as far as the Nile zone is concerned. Araka, the competition is becoming very stiff among these teams. Odamatako Central, they are not leaving themselves behind, but they have played fewer games than the rest of the teams. You talk about the team like Araka, and also over the weekend we saw the team of Total, a newly promoted side that has shocked so many fans, coming over a team called Coach Urban. It's extremely becoming nice. You talk about teams like Araka that is currently leading the table, Coach Urban, still they have not given up, and also Total. The way I'm seeing the battle is remaining between the two teams, because Kotse slipping points into the hands of Total over the weekend. It seems they are no longer into the competition unless something magical will happen. Maybe Total, Araka will lose maybe 1 or 2 games. That's when you will see Kotse coming on top of them. But the way I'm seeing, I should say the battle is now remaining between Araka and the team of Total. Odamatako, the other time they had a draw. I don't think they're into the competition match. The only battle is remaining between Araka and Total. If they continue with the form the way I'm seeing, Araka may end up meeting Paida Black Angels in the playoffs.
Araka, yes, is a good side, but sorry to say this, to me, I see Total being a more organized side compared to that is Araka in there. But then the best team is pushing through to see to it that they get to win in there in there is their side, so that they come to play the winner over the Nyagaki zone in there. That was what we had within there is the regional league. And then I want us to look at something small about the USA games before we discuss there is the big league and Stanbic Uganda Cup. The USA games, of course, started this week, and they are down in Masaka, where we are literally seeing schools are doing so well. In some of the results, I want us to look at the three schools that went in to represent West Nile, I would say. First of all, in the boys category, we had Mvara Senior Secondary School. That, of course, is the overall winner in there. And then we had Paida SS, that was the second runners-up, and then Kochi SS, that went in as the third runners-off there in the third place. And then in the girls, we had Moyo Star, Biaya, and St. Mary's Idiofe that have gone to represent us. And then the boys category already kick-started in Masaka, and literally the schools from here, I am seeing them doing in a lot of draws. I don't know if they will survive there is the group stages, because other schools are winning in massively. You talk about the likes of the Amus College is beating people 9-0, 12 goals to 0 and all that. And then the likes of Chisubi and the rest are doing so well. But if you come down to, there is our school here, you'd get to see that Varasina Secondary School had a game with Lakeside, and they played 3-3. And then Paida SS did beat their side, that is Maliko SS, 3-2. And then Kochi played a 2-2 with Quality High. What is happening with our schools?
You see, Susie, one thing which is also interesting is every fan is rallying behind the team they have sent from their region. You talk about Kochi SS, you talk about Paida SS, you talk about Varesina Secondary School. These are schools that have gone there because of the brilliant performance they had in the regional championship. When you talk about Uganda Secondary School Sports Association National Championship, there are so many things which speaks ahead of this tournament. First of all, you look at pedigree, you look at also form, you look at the history. These things, of course, they speak a lot. That's why I'm not so surprised where you have seen schools like Moose College actually accumulating schools for fun, and also the defending champion St. Mary's Tende. When you talk about the national championship, they're always the favorites. You talk about Kisubi and also a certain Chibuli. And comparing the last year with this year, I think there is a slight improvement. Why am I saying this? Last season, we only sent one representative from the region. It was only RSS, where they did not do anything. They did not even win any game. They were accumulated for fun. They did not go past the group stages. But this time, at least, we have sent all the representatives, 3 schools, which have gone there on merit, on paper. And the way I'm seeing, either 1 or 2 will end up going to the knockout stages. This time, knockout stages will start from round of 16. No, not from round of 16, round of 32, not from round of 16, round of 32. But SS playing 3-3 with the leg side is not all that a bad result. But today, they are playing 2 games, and in each group, there are 4 groups, whereby you play 3 games. If you can be able to pick 1 win, maybe 2 draws, as 1 draw, 1 win, the mathematics matters. And also Coach SS starting it with a draw, and Paida SS starting it with a win. The way I'm seeing, at least 1 or 2 will end up proceeding to the round of 32. It will not be like how it happened last year.
We did see a lot of interesting victories coming through. Moose College were the biggest victors yesterday after beating there is a Murdoch Secondary School 14 goals, 14 goals to 0. Meanwhile, Abuke, their comprehensive school, did beat there is a Highway Uganda 1-0 in their first game before losing 2-1 to Blessed Sacrament Chimanya in their second encounter there. And then, of course, some of the names that did appear in the score sheet that literally are sneaking in with a golden boot include Nuagaba Christian, Benon Lutaya, Ambayo Emmanuel, and Mwebaze David, who did score in for their various schools, which include Standard High School, Zana, and Wisdom High School. And literally seeing in some of the results that our West Nile schools are pushing through, you are seeing that the win is not coming from the champion.
Yeah.
They did play a draw. We did see either play a draw. Instead, it is the person that finished in third that actually did manage to beat in their opponents.
You know, that is a different tournament. Regional tournament was a different one. This time you have gone to the highest level of the tournament, whereby you meet schools from the different parts of the country. You don't know how they had been performing. You don't know how they had been doing their trainings. You may only say that they are the champions from the other region. So it means a lot to these schools. And one thing which I am looking forward is it gives platform for some of the coaches, for some of the players from these schools. Like I said earlier on, I want to repeat myself. I want to be surprised if some of the players, of course, will end up to be retained by some of the schools from the central. The games have just started. We are watching the space closely. Group stages may get done today or else tomorrow, and then we get into the round of 32. But the way I am seeing, at least one or two will end up raising the flag of our region in the knockout stages.
Okay, quite a very interesting one. We are following very closely. There are a lot of results, of course.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region. West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
come back from that very short commercial break. Literally, I went in for a break while we were discussing some of the results of that down in Masaka, and literally showing you how, of course, the different schools that went to represent are doing in there. And over the weekend, Star Times Uganda Premier, not Star Times, Stanbic Uganda Cup. My first leg, of course, did go through where we saw Bull Football Club playing in there is a NEC Football Club, and Chitara did face off with Pajule Lions. And in some of those results, Bull and NEC did play a 1-1 draw. And Pajule Lions that had traveled to Masindi were humiliated to 3-1 by there is Chitara. And all these two games are played on an away, home and away basis. So basically, meaning Pajule that actually traveled to Chitara waits to host Chitara home in Pajule prayer grounds. There is for NEC, we did see Joseph Data, who scored a crucial away goal in there is a next 1-1 draw away to Bull during their Stanbic Uganda Cup first leg semi-finals at Njeru Technical Center. And this time around, they are waiting for the return leg. Looking at the two games, Bull NEC, they played 1-1 before we come to discuss Chitara that did beat Pajule 3-1.
Bull sharing the spoil in the first league encounter with the team of NEC is not a surprising thing. I know so many people expected this because you look at how the both sides have been performing. I should say 50-50, they have been actually having a balanced results. And playing a 1-1 draw is not something which is so surprising. That means the business is still pending to see which team, of course, will end up meeting either Pajule Lions and the Airtel Chitara before actually I also dive into that discussion. The way I'm seeing Bull up against NEC, Bull somehow of late they have been so slippery. NEC, they have also been slippery like a Bull. That's why I said statistically they have been 50-50 when it comes to the balancing of the results. Me, I will say openly, any team is capable of making it to the finals. But in terms of pedigree, that's why I always say in football there are so many things which speaks pedigree, form, history, what we may say. Bull is having an advantage over NEC, but in terms of the current performance, still NEC is on top of Bull. But any team, I will say, is capable of joining either Chitara or Pajule Lions in the finals.
The man for me in the NEC Bull game was Data Joseph, of course, who has been on a very fine form, by the way, literally in the squad for NEC, specifically in there is the Stanbic Cup. We've seen him, of course, score in 5 goals in Uganda Cup, 3 against Acholi United and 1 against Busoga United, and another 1 against there is a Bull, where they did go past. We did see, of course, a Bull taking in the lead in there, but then an attack came in the 54th minute to, of course, level in points for there is their side, and they wait to, of course, host a Bull in the return leg. Just like you had said, anyone in the two teams can, by the way, go through. Bull has all the experience. But then NEC seems to be very composed, being the first time they're doing in this, the first time they're also venturing into the biggest of football in Uganda. There is sometimes Uganda Premier League, so it's quite a very huge one for NEC. I literally don't know how they are managing the both sides. There is the two gaffers, Mr. Mbalangu and Didu Bosco, seem to be quite very well. And another game that also did go down was Pajule Lions being beaten by Chitara 3-1 at Masindi, home of Chitara.
You know, in this competition, there is a limit for some of the teams. Much as lucky sometimes plays its role in sports at large, but Pajule Lions pushing up to semi-finals, I never expected them to go past the Chitara, even at home, because you look at the Chitara, a newly promoted side, rejuvenated, playing games for fun, winning for fun, coming up against a team that plays in the lower league. I expected such kind of a result, but still, I will appreciate the team Pajule Lions so much, proceeding up to the semi-finals, being the only team from the third tier of Ugandan football representing their region up to this level. But Airtel Chitara, 90% we should say they are already to the finals, because Pajule will be heading to Hoima. I don't think it will be an easy overcome, come back for Pajule.
They already played in Hoima, so this time around they're waiting to host. There is a Chitara on 5th May at Pajule Primary School grounds, and I still don't see them overturn that result. Trust me, Chitara is going to come there and beat Pajule even at home. Talking about Chitara, they have the 12-man squad. I was going to say it's going to be quite a very good one for there is a Pajule because they will be hosting the return fixture on 5th. That will be a Sunday, this coming Sunday at Pajule Playgrounds. But trust me, Chitara fans are bad when it comes to traveling to supporting their side. They always move in there. They have a massive turn up for their home side. So basically, beating them also with the 12-man squad is quite a little bit hard. So literally, I don't see Pajule, of course, going past Chitara, even in the return leg that will be this Sunday at Pajule Playgrounds. Meanwhile, the return leg for the neck bull will be on 4th Saturday, May at there is a MTN Omondi Stadium. Quite a very huge one for there is both teams, and we'll basically wishing the best for any other team that can push through. But I would like to congratulate there is a Pajule Lions as we saw Time Desk and West Nile TV for making it to that, just like my colleague Benson had said in there. Those were, of course, whatever it is that did transpire between within there is a Stanbic Uganda Cup. Then crossing over to there is a Bet Power Big League. There were a couple of games that did go down this very weekend. We did see a couple of games. First of all, Calvary and Mbale Heroes went down on Saturday, and then a lot of the games, of course, went down on there is Sunday. That was yesterday, where we did see on Saturday we did see Mbale Heroes beating there is Calvary 2-1, and then yesterday a couple of games went down. We did see Chigezi Homeboys beating Ginger North 3-0. Kataka played a 1-1 draw with Karunji Football Club. Onduparaka Football Club did go past there is their visitors Lugazi 1-0, and then Cheitume and Boma lost to Cheitume 4-1, and then Blacks Power did beat Police the table leaders 1-0 in an early goal that came in from one guy called Dante in the 4th minute. Looking at all these results, I want us to start with Mbale Heroes and Calvary. Where do you see Calvary going to? Because after this, we'll also look at our table standings. They now sit 11th on the table, quite a very bad one for them.
This is the point where I expect Calvary to have put that spirited effort to fight for relegation, but the contrary part of it is it's a bad one for the team of Calvary. The season is coming to an end. They are not picking wins, and you look at where they are right now. If they are not serious, they may end up relegated, but that's something we are not praying for, because you look at the FUFA Big League, we only having 2 representatives from the region, Calvary and Onduparaka. First league was not all that, first round I should say, was not all that a bad one for the team of Calvary, but ever since the kickstart or commencement of the second phase of the season, it has been something very difficult for the team of Calvary to win games. Unfortunately, it is happened when the curtains are almost drawing closer. They will have to be serious in the remaining games. Unfortunately, they also have in one game up against their neighbor Onduparaka, which is also at the same time on form, having that zeal to earn promotion.
That game is going to be the last game for Onduparaka to close the season.
They will have to play that. Teams that are behind them, they continue to slip points, like how Zinzanov United got to be beaten. Teams like Ichetume. Otherwise, if they continue with this kind of form, Calvary, of course, will get relegated unless they will do a magic. In fact, what will help them will depend on how the other teams that are currently sitting behind them are performing. But if they keep on pushing and Calvary keeps on dropping, at the end we may see something unusual happening for West Nile-based club Calvary.
Kataka, that of course has high points over getting an automatic promotion to UPL, was tied to there is a 1-1 draw by Karo Karunji at Mbale Stadium, home of Kataka. What do you anticipate out of this result?
Karo Karunji is a team that of late has lost the form ever since the commencement of this season. They have not been Karo Karunji we witnessed in the last 2 to 3 seasons. They have really lost that vibe. They have really lost that that form. And talking about Kataka, it has been something very difficult for most of the teams playing in big league, going to the home of Kataka, even coming back with a mere point. It was a shocking result. First of all, based on the home ground of Kataka, and at the same time, the form guide the team of Karo Karunzi has been having. But Kataka also slipping points to Karo Karunzi is also advantageous to, I should say, one particular team, that's Onduparaka, maybe also to Lugazi, because they were beaten. They will still have that in their mind that they can catch up with them. From
there, of course, I will definitely shift to the Onduparaka Lugazi game, where we did see Lugazi as the visitors, where Onduparaka did beat them 1-0. Lugazi currently sits in position number 3, which of course propelled, the win did propel Onduparaka to push to remain actually in their same position. That's position number 5. They have been there in the last away win that actually they picked. This game was a very tough one. Onduparaka Lugazi.
Yeah, truly it was a very tough game, a very tense game for the two sides, because it was one of the determinant games, I should say, since the season is almost coming to an end. Right now, you talk about the teams that are playing in FUFA Big League. Onduparaka is the team which is making headlines all over the country because of the recent form they have been possessing, recent positive form they have been possessing. Not even Police that is sitting on top of the level, not even Kataka, not even Mbale Heroes, but it is Onduparaka, because where they have come from. You look at the entire month of April. Is there any team that has been put in that star performance like Onduparaka? Automatically, no team. And only 2 points behind Lugazi is a very good one. And also Kataka, yesterday drawing their game is also something very advantageous, as I said, for the team of Onduparaka. It will now depend on it. Right now, it is 50-50. Lugazi started slipping points. Remember, they reached a certain moment, they sacked their head coach. That's why sometimes it's very dangerous when you sack a head coach, when your team is performing very well. Even in Mbale Heroes, their head coach left. That's why of late we have seen the result not coming for the both teams, Lugazi and Mbale Heroes. Onduparaka only 2 points behind the team of Lugazi, now something like 3 points behind the team of Kataka and Police. Me, I should say, if Onduparaka had put this spirited effort, maybe in the first round, by now, Onduparaka would have been confirmed as a team that is going to play in StarTimes Uganda Premier League next season. And fortunately, I should also say, fortunately, they have put the spirited effort in the second phase, which is a very good thing, because right now a team they are facing will have that fear factor about Onduparaka, because you look at Lugazi, these are the teams that beat Onduparaka in the first league. Even Police is already scared. Matches Onduparaka will be going away to them, and you look at the points gap between Police that is leading the table with the Onduparaka. It's not all that something huge, but right now Onduparaka, the stakeholders, they are not dreaming of finishing on top as catching Police, but their dream is to get promotion to StarTimes Uganda Premier League. And also you look at the weight of the fixtures that are remaining on for the team of Onduparaka. Calvary is a team that will be coming here at Ababet. It will be easier for them to beat Calvary, because they went away to Midgo Calvary. They were beaten. I don't think a team like Onduparaka will want to lose games home and away.
The next fixture that Onduparaka Football Club has is Boma, that they will be playing home on 12th, meaning this weekend Onduparaka has no game, but they will have a game the other weekend against Boma that will come home, and then after Boma they will travel away to Police to play in that game the next weekend, and then close the season with, of course, a Calvary at home, literally.
So, truly, you look at Boma of late, they are not also doing very well. Onduparaka can easily pick a win against Boma. Here at home, they picked a drop against Police. Police right now, they are off form, and you also look at Mbale Heroes. Some of the things I talked about Mbale Heroes, generally, you look at the remaining 4 fixtures for the team of Onduparaka. Onduparaka is capable of picking 2 wins and a draw, maybe 1 defeat. Even they can pick 2 wins, 3 wins and a draw with the spirited effort they have right now.
Yesterday, in some of the results, we did see a Blacks Power go past there is Police. Blacks Power was home at there is Kibwa in Lira, and they registered a very early goal, just like Onduparaka did register a goal from there is Ndifuna Bernard, a goal that came through in the 40th minute towards the end of first half from a mistake that the goalkeeper of Lugazi did. First of all, this guy first got in hold of the ball. But then I think the hands were, either the gloves were slippery. We did see the bowler slip out of his hands and go into the reserve net. That was how Onduparaka did pick its win yesterday against Lugazi, a game that ended at 1-0. And then we did also see Blacks Power, a side in Lira that is following Onduparaka Football Club very closely on the table standings, also go past the table leaders. There is a Police in a very early goal that came through from Dante in the 4th minute, which did see Blacks Power go past the Police in a 1-0 full-time result there.
That's why at one point I said the Police at this moment is a Police which is not the Police we knew at the start of the season. They have lost the form. Maybe they just feel that they are capable of making it to start times Uganda Premier League. That's why at some point I said Onduparaka is even capable of picking something against the team of Police. Blacks Power, of late, they have also lost their form. They have not been doing it the way how they did it in the first phase. That's why of late we have seen it from number 2. They are sitting somewhere. It should be at number 5 as at number 6. Picking a win against. I think the race is still on. Apart from Police, the other teams from number 2 up to number 6, they can still fight for the promotion.
Actually, up to number 7. Because if you look at here, from number 7 upwards, the points are 35, 37, 38, 40, 41, 44. So basically, from number 7, every other person has the ability, by the way, to prosper and propel into there is the biggest of football startimes you get up. Looking into the tables over, there is a Bet Power Big League from yesterday's results. We'll basically be able to see that Police still remained at 44 points, are in position number 1, and then Kataka sits in position number 2 after being held to a 1-1 draw yesterday by Karo Karunji. They have now 41 points, meaning if Kataka had won the game yesterday, they would be 1 point shy of a Police that sits on top of that table. Makataka now has 41 points, sitting in position number 2. In position number 3, we have Lugazi, that of course has accumulated 40 points to their names, the same points that Mbale Heroes also has, sitting in position number 4. And then position number 5 has Onduparaka Football Club that has 38 points, followed very closely by their drivers, Blacks Power, that sits in position number 6, with of course 37 points. And then we have 33 points accumulated by Chigezi Homeboys, who sits in position number 8. And then position number 9 has Boma with, of course, 33 points. And Karo Karunji sits in position number 10 with 25 points. And then 24 points is Calvary, a football club that sits in position number 11. And then in the red zone, position number 12, we have Cheitumei that did beat their opponents 4 goals. Literally, they've been off form. I don't know how they managed to go past their game yesterday. They sit in position number 12 with, of course, 20 points. And then we have Ginger North that sits in position number 13 with 18 points. And then 12 points, we have Young Elephants in there. Quite a very bad one for there is a team Young Elephants, and if they don't improve, it's going to be quite a terrible one for them. How do you see the table standings?
Still, as you had said earlier on, the top 5 or 6 teams, they still have the hope of making it to the Start Times Uganda Premier League. But for the teams that are down in the relegation zone, you talk about Ndeze University, that's no longer into the competition. Jinza North United, I don't know what is happened to them. They will get relegated. Chetume up against the team of Calvar. That's why at some point I said Calvar will have to be very, very careful. Like you said, Chetume, a team that has been off form and coming on top of their opponent, thrusting in them. That means this is a black season. The season is coming to an end. Teams that are in the relegation, they want to fight and get out of that position. Meanwhile, those ones that are already flying, they're also sorting themselves. To me, it's not a surprising thing, but maybe the surprising thing is the number of goals they actually scored.
We did see a couple of games are going down in UPL, where lastly on 26th we did see Mbarara City play a 0-0 with UPDF, and then Busoga did beat Wachiso Giants, of course, 2 goals to 1, which brings us to the table standings over UPL before we cross over to internationals in there. Sitting in position number 1, we have Ayatel Chitara that has 47 points, and then position number 2 has Vipers that has 46 points, together with also Bull that sits in position number 3, the same 46 points, and then 45 points has a Soccer Club Villa that sits in position number 4, and then position number 5 has NEC that has accumulated 43 points, and then position number 6 has KCCA that has 39 points. The same 39 points also is Maroons that sits in position number 7. Position number 8 has the former David Obu has said URA that now has 34 points, and then 32 points has Express that sits in position number 9. And then in position number 10, we have Saltillo Bright Stars that has 30 points. And then 29 points has Mbarara City that, of course, sits in position number 11. And then position number 12 has Wachiso Giants that have 26 points. And then 21 points has Busoga United that sits in position number 13. And then position number 14 has Gaddafi that has 19 points, and 18 points UPDF. Quite a very bad one for the Army side.
The points, the table standing you have just given about UPL speaks about the volume, the beauty we have in Ugandan football in terms of competition. In the last 2 to 3 seasons, the competition, I should say last season and this season, the competition has been so stiff. That one speaks about the beauty of a league you have in your country. Unlike some years back where you will see Vipers, KCA winning the league early. But this time, last season, it went up to the final game. The way I'm seeing this season, it will also go up to the final game. Ayatel Chitara, you look at the points gap, just one. Number 1 is having a point ahead of number 2. Number 2 is also having a point ahead of number 3. That means the teams right from number 1 up to number 4, they are capable of winning the league. Down in the relegation, the teams are fighting for relegation. But there is one thing I love about Busoga. Whenever the season is coming to an end like this, they don't joke. You look at some of the teams they are beating. They beat a certain Wachiso Giants. Busoga, maybe the battle will now be remaining between UPDF. Among these teams, UPDF, you talk about Gaddafi, these are the teams they may be fighting for relegation. Busoga, I don't see them getting relegated. And also in terms of the top scorer chart, reaching at a certain moment, it became stiff after Muhammad Saban, the other time scoring a brace. He seems to be going ahead of the likes of Kakande, Nelson Sekatuka. But we are watching the space up to the end of the season. The good kind of it is there.
Yeah, by the way, talking about the top scorers in there, it's becoming quite clear that Muhammad Shaban seems to steadily get his way through matches. Their side played a draw over the weekend, but then he did score. He did register himself onto there is the scoreboard, which was quite a very good one for him in there. And leaving that aside, we'll be crossing over to international stories. There were a couple of games that went down over the weekend. Saturday, we did see West Ham playing a 2-2 with Liverpool, and then Fulham played a 1-1 draw with Crystal Palace. Manchester United also played a 1-1 draw with Burnley. Newcastle went past Sheffield United 5-1, and then Wolves did beat Luton 2-1. Everton beat Brentford 1-0, and then Aston Villa Chelsea went down on 2-2. Basically a few over the results of Saturday to be analyzed before we see the results over yesterday's games and closing the hour. Which game did you see was quite very interesting? Because I see a lot of Giants did close up with a draw, apart from yesterday Arsenal winning in there. And Saturday we did see too many draws for Giants. Manchester United, Liverpool.
Manchester United, Liverpool, I think the most shocking result,
Chelsea did draw.
Even Chelsea, the most shocking result was that one of West Ham and Liverpool playing a draw. And yet, Liverpool, the other time, being beaten by Everton in Merseyside derby, people expected them to have recollected themselves against West Ham. But So one thing before I give my length analysis about some of the games, the competition, the level of the competition is stiff right from the title race, European slot, up to the relegation battle. Even Burnley, that used to be beaten for fun by the Giants, the other time picked a draw against the Manchester United. But speaking about the draw Liverpool had over the team of West Ham, it clearly speaks that Liverpool, I should say 90%, they are already out of the title race, because the teams like Arsenal, Manchester City, they are winning their games over and over. I should say Liverpool is out of the competition. And also for the European slot, more especially UEFA Champions League slot, the way Spurs is performing, Aston Villa is performing. Aston Villa seems to be already through to the UEFA Champions League, because Spurs matches, they are having some games to be played, but still I don't think they will catch up with a certain Aston Villa. One thing I've loved about English Premier League of late is it's not the way how it used to be when we are growing, when we started following the league. It used to be the giant teams always maintaining the position of European slot, but of late, each and every season, last season it was a certain Newcastle who came and finished in top 4. This season Aston Villa, we never know. Leicester City has been promoted. It may be their moment. It's getting interesting. Before I give my length analysis, maybe there's also another game you may want to answer me into.
There are a lot of interesting games, like Adaliran said, that of course went down over the weekend. To me, it was quite surprising that all the giants, or the teams that are termed as giants in England, did draw.
True.
We did see Chelsea drawing in there, but Chelsea tried, by the way, in the startup, they were trailing. We did see them giving in a goal for Aston Villa taking in a lead. It was an all goal from Shurela that did see Aston Villa sail past Chelsea, and then Aston Villa also added in the second goal where we did see a first half ending in a 2-0, and then Chelsea came down from 0 and made sure they are shared in points in there. It's quite a very bad one for Chelsea, by the way, and now that the season is closing up. And then Manchester United and Burnley, the 1-1 also was quite very surprising for me.
Yeah, 1-1 all time with Burnley is a surprising thing, because you look at, as I said, the race for European slot is very, very high. For UEFA Champions League, I should say 90% is already done because of the form Spurs is having, comparing it with the form Aston Villa is having. But for Manchester United, it's so bad one for them. Much as they still maintain that position of number 6, the battle is now the battle for Europa League Conference and also the UEFA Europa League is remaining amongst teams like West Ham, Manchester United and Newcastle. At least against Burnley, I expected them to have put a positive result, because you look at also the fixtures that are coming ahead of Manchester United. There is a certain Arsenal which is still coming on their way. Newcastle has picked the form. Chelsea, I don't think they will finish even in Europa Conference, because today they are picking a draw, tomorrow a defeat, next time a win. I don't think.
Yesterday we also did have games that went down in our English Premier League, where we did see Bournemouth beat Brighton 3-0, and then Tottenham Hotspurs lost to Arsenal 3-2. It was a very stiff one, where we did see Tottenham Hotspurs picking in a penalty in there that Song put behind the net. And then Nottingham Forest lost to Manchester City 2-0. I want us to look at the Arsenal-Tottenham game.
Arsenal-Tottenham game, it was a beautiful game, a very tense game, because both teams were fighting for something. Arsenal knew that they really needed the win. Spurs at the same time, they needed the win, because Spurs, they needed to keep their hopes of finishing at number 4 for Champions League. And meanwhile, Arsenal, they also want to end the 20 years drought of not winning the English Premier League title, which of course they know that it's clear ahead of them, and the only team which is currently chasing them is a certain Manchester City with a game at hand. And also the game against Spurs was a determinant game, not only for Arsenal and also for Spurs. And it was the one thing I've observed about Arsenal this season is at least in every season, Arsenal used to have a black segment of the season. When you talk about festive season, is always a black segment for Arsenal. And also when season is coming to an end like this, you see Arsenal dropping points and losing games for fun. But that spirit almost seems to be gone. But with the 4 games to go, you compare the fixtures that are left on Arsenal with that one of Manchester City. the beauty is extremely massive, I should say.
It's quite a very good one for there is a team, Arsenal. As we are closing in down, that was exactly what we had for you for the sports analysis through. We started from 2 to 3. We shall be closing in very shortly from here. But in between, there is a struggling Premier League side. Busoga United have parted ways with. There is the head coach, Jesse Lukoki. And then in the top scorers list, we have, of course, Muhammad Shaban. That has 15 goals, being followed closely by Nelson Senkantuka, 13 goals. Maybe in 1 minute, some of your parting words as we leave here.
Like I said, when we are actually giving the highlights of what we are going to give for you, the seasons are getting done. From Africa also to the rest of the world. In English Premier League is still on. In French League 1 is already done. Paris Saint-Germain over the weekend playing 3-all tie with the team of Le Havre, and Monaco dropping points shows that they are already the champions of French League 1. In German Bundesliga, it was done some 2 weeks ago. Bayer Leverkusen is done with it. Italian Serie is already done. Inter Milan winning it. The battle is only remaining in Spanish Primera Division and also in English Premier League. In Spanish Primera Division, either next week or the other week, it will also be done. And Susie, one thing about Champions League is African Champions League has also gone to the finals, where you will be seeing a final between Esperance, a team that comes from Tunisia.
Yeah, they were the side that actually eliminated Mamelodi Sundowns, the South African side.
They will be taking on Al Ahly. The final is not the way how they play it in Europe. Theirs is home and away basis.
Very interesting. Yeah. It was nice having you on show. There is a Benson Pastore that actually is signing out. One from Facebook, Bio Sunday. You say you're live, and thank you so much for keeping it West Nile TV and the entire team behind this, Jonathan Opak and Aboni. We wish you a very blessed week and good afternoon. We're out of here.